Hi, welcome to the National LCP Office's first of two online introductory tutorials for the new Web Reflective Data Cycle. My name is Vanessa Leotichnula and I will be your online host for this session. This tutorial will mainly focus on how to access the website and give you an overview of the data entry side of the tool. The second tutorial will focus mainly on the reporting side of the tool. I just want to mention that the tutorial is intended for those who have an understanding of the reflective data cycle. For those who have no prior knowledge, I encourage you to visit our website www.lcpnz.org.nz. You type that in and you'll be given this website here, and there you will find some useful introductory information about what the reflective data cycle is and what it can do for your organization. And you'll see these links down here. Click on one of them and it'll walk you through the process of introducing you to what the reflective data cycle is. You can read through the introduction and all the information relating to the reflective data cycle, and you can scroll your way down how to use the reflective data cycle and access the reflective data cycle, and you can click on either and it'll take you further into finding out more information about the reflective data cycle. We will cover how to access the website, logging in the RDC site, then look at data entry, covering familiarization with the home screen, how to start a data entry and saving, editing and finding a particular pathway. Some commonly used terms that I will use are the term RDC. This is an abbreviation of reflective data cycle. Incomplete data entry. This refers to patient notes entered onto the system but not yet 100% completed. Unlocked entry refers to entries that are 100% completed but yet to be locked. The term locked entry means an entry can no longer be edited. Locked entries are the entries the reporting function uses to generate the reports. It is important to be sure that everything entered is correct before you lock an entry. If you are unsure, you can leave the entry unlocked until later. If these terms all sound a bit confusing, don't worry. We will mention them again a bit later in the tutorial, where you will see the entries on screen. Foremost on the list is to ensure that you have an access login. This is a username and password to access the website. Care Settings already registered to use the LCP can go to our website and fill in the registration form. To find the registration form, go to the National LCP Office website and follow the links to find the RDC registration link. This web page will appear. You fill in the form and the office will then process your registration and email you back with your username and password. Now that you have your user code and password, open your web browser, that is your Internet Explorer, Mozilla or Safari, whichever one you're using, and type in the address www.rdlcpnz.org.nz. Read through the terms of use, and I have entered my username and password and check the box to indicate that I agree to the terms. But before we log in, I just wanted to show you the contact details if you need help at any stage. Throughout the process, these contact details will be seen on every screen footer so that you can call or email the National LCP Office, whichever you prefer, should you need help. We are now going to look at data entry, getting ourselves familiar with the layout, adding a new entry, saving, finding, and editing a pathway entry, as well as locking data. After pressing the Login button, we are shown the default screen. On the header of the screen, you will see a Record Entries link and a View Reports link. The Record Entries link will bring you to the data entry screen of the tool. This is the screen we are looking at the moment. This is the default screen you see when you log in. We will refer to this screen as the home screen. The View Reports link will take you to the reporting function of the tool. This will be discussed further in the second online tutorial. On the right-hand corner, it will show your organization's name, your user code, and the logout link. As I am logging in as a user under the organization example site, your organization name will appear there. The default screen will be in the month that you logged in the tool. The backward and forward arrows will take you forward 1 month and backward 1 month. Under the statistics area here, there will be a summary for the default month you are viewing. In this case, it is September 2012. It will show the number of patient data I've entered, the average time on LCP, and average age. The first time you log into the tool, this section will not be visible. This is because you have yet to enter data. Because I have entered some data, a link shows up on my screen indicating which months from the past 12 months I have entered pathways. The entries I have entered both commenced in June 2012. One is in a draft form and one is locked. This means any reports that covers June 2012 will report only one pathway out of the two. If you remember earlier, we talked about the terms locked entry, unlocked entry, and incomplete data entry. The reports only recognize locked entries, hence why the reports only show one as the other entry is yet to be locked. Now I'm going to click on the June 2012. Notice the first entry, it says 11% complete. This is referred to as incomplete entry. The second pathway is locked. This pathway can no longer be edited. If for some reason you require editing a locked pathway, a request has to come through to the National LCP Office to do this for you. To go back to the home screen, you click on the Record Entries link. Below the statistics information, we have the Export option. This button will export all data entered into the tool, regardless of whether it's incomplete, locked, or unlocked. It exports everything. The file is in a spreadsheet format, allowing you to do further analysis or for your IT department to perform some integration with your organization system. Now that we are familiar with the home screen, let's start entering some data. To start your data entry, click on the Add a New Entry link. Screen 1 is where baseline and demographic information is entered. Let's go through and enter some data for this screen. Take note of the time and date formats. On this question where you are prompted on whether the LCP was discontinued or not, the buttons at the bottom of the screen changes. If the patient was discontinued, entry is completed after screen 1. Discontinued pathways are counted as part of the report, so it is still important to include them. To help streamline data values with the Ministry of Health formats, the primary diagnosis field and gender field are both taken from the Ministry of Health Specialist Palliative Care data definitions. The ethnicity field is taken from the Ministry of Health Ethnicity Data Protocols for national data collection. For this reason, you will note that exported data will have numerical values under the diagnosis and ethnicity fields. A listing of these numerical values or codes will be available in the user manual. I will fill in the rest of screen 1 so that we can move on to screen 2. At the end of data entry on screen 1, pressing Next to continue to screen 2 has the effect of saving what you have just entered. This means if you were interrupted and had to log out, make sure you press Next before you close down in order to save your entry on screen 1. For all remaining screens, there is a blue shaded area on the top. These are help notes to guide users where required. Going about how you enter your data is dependent on user preference. If you prefer to use the mouse, You can go through the process of pointing and clicking to enter data. Alternatively, if you prefer to use the keyboard, you can use the Tab key on your keyboard and press the first letter of the option required. For example, for Achieved, I will key in A and it will bring up Achieved. Navigation through the data entry process is basically a screen-by-screen movement using the next and back buttons to move forward or backward one screen at a time. Here are the 9 screens of the data entry process. This information is also in the user manual. Note that screen 5 is relevant only to the community setting, so if you are a rest home, hospital, or hospice, don't panic if you notice that you jumped from screen 4 to screen 6. There will also be times that the system takes you through from screen 4 to screen 9 directly. This is because if the patient was on the pathway for less than 4 hours, the pathway will not record any data that screens 5 to 8 requires. Because screens 2 to 5 are self-explanatory, we will go directly to screen 6 so I can show you some useful functions there. Don't forget the blue help notes on the top for guidance if you need them. The system automatically calculates how many ongoing assessments from the time of commencement till death. For the patient I have entered on screen, they had 2 ongoing assessments. The maximum of assessments that could appear here, of course, is 6 assessments. The Achieved All will put an A for all the assessment times within a goal. For assessments that a variance was recorded, you can then go to that particular time and select a V. The rest of the ongoing assessment goals are on screen 7, therefore we will go straight through to screen 8. On screen 8, you will be prompted to select the goal from the ongoing assessment variance analysis sheets with the most variances. Which variances, I hear you say? The variances from the ongoing assessment variance analysis sheets. These are the pages with the descriptive text of the variances. The ongoing assessment times sheet is the one where either a V or A, or whichever is appropriate, is recorded. To find a particular pathway, you will need to remember which month the patient commenced the pathway and their NHI number. For example, say there's a pathway which I had not completed entry for, and I would like to continue entering the data. The pathway was commenced in June 2012, and the NHI number is LCP 0030. To start the process, you must be in the home screen, and under the list of entries from the past 12 months, I see there is a link to June 2012. Clicking on June 2012 gives me the list of pathways that commenced on that month. From the list that comes up, I track down the NHI number that I'm looking for. An editable entry will be in blue color. This also indicates that you can click on it to take you to complete or edit the data. I want to complete my data entry and also edit something on screen 6. Clicking on the NHI number took me straight to screen 8. The system recognizes that this is where you left off your data entry, but I would like to go back to screen 6 to edit something there. To go there, you have to use the back button to browse your way through. Now that I'm on screen 6, I want to edit the 4 o'clock assessment for goal F from an A to an M. Now that I've completed all my data entry for LCP 0030, I can now press on Finish to complete my data entry. Locking data. The pathway LCP 0030 is the one that we have just completed entry for. The lock function will be visible once the data entry is 100% completed. Remember that logged entries become uneditable and become recognizable by the reporting function when it is logged. We will look into reporting in tutorial 2. If you have any questions at all or feedback, do contact us on 063502311 or email support@lcpnz.org.nz.